there's a lot of opportunities. Oshin hayu Estolitigi, Bohanetlinigi, Con Nekaya Bacao, Hollo, and Chiniajan or Setigi, Ashin Bihbutaholni, Bishop in Texas, the Hollo, Do Amado Jeni Glenigishin, Nihi, Esto. Nhidet ilchiniaj nani tindole digit o ina digit o hawan hazagi dot o naltlos slagi do kedelige do hashint o ilkidashinas da ilde nijona goshinas da ilde alle how do you say, I'm trying to say, to survive and to be self-sufficient, to be independent. Egi aho ina jilegi eshin kot obedalste betzilo. Do alle Bacholina hallon do alle Shadow Nilsson no aho ashinho ukot bantzes keso stolito amado hajedo hamasanda hacheda zisashin okot yishin pendantkin hollo ko ilchiniyazik atnosatiki shito sazon edition ilchin dainoltra jo at okot go to school ningi do hashin zagun etolli nakitsata chinhola shisazaneta shishineda nakitsata hagi dililtan hitninde ado you watching she and hit a hodni dan hit it no he yada ho ado kon in nahagi stohollo don lede kintrate in nahagi dohollo the hashin dostil okonde akhote shevangin de stasto konshevansa ado kon the more yajikota kon na sha na kitchita adonle na nishon oltra da na stato na stato zinzon shin stoli ashin ho bants the case o kot edole cholling leko what amado je o you okot ashin dan kinde dan kadishin de oyo shinesh shidogo obiyon chinido hashin so no sahot this state nahallen ishin benina alle hat ishin chitayol ini benna chin okot okonde she yat nas otaltoid got bansen chin yat the north sail yat nan tini be ishja al ido ado abinachi yan sexy solid ado they have a choice, the young people, and it all depends on what they're interested in. eben nachen. Ado na annishiki a epidet ilto. Hat ishin bisnetlenigi edigi ba akhosin zano. Ichil okho naste e hanan stolil. Ado shin sto buhuistol al betaho ahun shin sto. Beniyata ol khaun shin sto hollo. Okho chin no seri aho chit gotani leto. Hast good son. It's all up to you how you want to live, how do you want to educate yourself, and how to live towards the future. And the chini yajichilinda and the hamapi hochilonda. This is for young people. Be hamabi hochilonda shin hamma hachin yatkile. She'll talk to you even though you're in her stomach. She'll talk to you, she'll sing to you, she'll say things to you. Maybe a lot of encouraging words, a lot of loving words, and to you while you're still in the tummy, and you come to this world, and your mom and dad will love you, hold you, carry you around, talk to you, and make sure you're safe. And ado in nas isha we hasno shiyaji hasno ado in hasno akun huwakun ale inigi to boho ahasno ye nahon tino do hachin isha il kot o sin nasno seitole ado di edota di edo do na nsenda hasnida tole hamado je an dan indole hasno sin nasno seitole chinjilo hashin so sin bikish dotkin hashin so nantkinigi bechol hanne dolil bikish itran nasko doshinan tlagun la nedanile lego yo nantla yo inna nantla ashin ani sto jo dohajo be hachin isha alia dohajo be nahot nestran okot ashin ani nantla dolil sto okonde chiniage danlini ye goshin dat do shin you dan hito not do anchi not o hat shin benot lenigi eto lilot do che de slilo adonosen son bitchin hot I ote ot bitchin hadisti do no satigi ye gota inoltra do akun inagi to potahol nizat betahol niho ol betahol ot nahaga gido betahol so bitado nantin hollo The one that I think I know.
on bahozilgi. They are bahozin yet. They chachilida.
Oh, this is
Aro they ya zahale.
So, azahale so.
Gamble oak. Oh, this is Chechiloli. I called it the Haiti down, but Sahot Obiji. Sahot Obiji Lana Sa Coliato Tony. The got which is Hatilali. Juniper, yes. Oh, okay. Utah juniper. Pinion tree. It's on doggy daddy. Destin. I don't know how to be. The destin double. Oh, could
Purple parsley.
Zahale. Oh, dipet that's a special a top.
So these are just some of the sample. We have 600 of these.
600?
Yeah.
Wow.
600 specimens. Some of them, and some of them are repeated, but that's because we collected in different areas, and we tried we also tried to collect the same plant as well, because we wanted to get the this plant was found here, but it can also be found here, or like, we found it in a canyon here. It was also found way up here on the top of the mountain.
Yeah. Okay.
So we tried to get those. And we went out with, like I said before, it was me and 2 other college interns along with Arnold Clifford. And then another part of the TNA group was the food sovereignty crew. So they do like agricultural things and stuff like that. And they were setting up hoop houses. Anyways, we had their crew join us on a lot of these plant collections. So we had on these little labels, we described, I guess, the environment and the ecosystem almost. So we tried to get like the location, and then we described the different plants that were in the area. So you can kind of get a picture of what else was there.
Yeah, because you're explaining all the ecosphere and other types of wildlife, or I guess wild plants, that would be complementary to their...
Yeah, you're trying to get an idea of its habitat.
Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
Exactly, yes. And then after that, we had like the
soil.
Geographical coordinates.
The coordinates, yes, that's what it was. And then the elevations at the end, of course, and then the common name, and then followed by who was all there that day, and we collected. And then it comes with its own little collection number. So this is DY 126. DY stands for Zithiagene, so that's Black Mesa in Navajo. So DY 126. So it goes all the way to 600.
Wow.
And this is the day that we collected it, back in May of last year. So I'm trying to keep them kind of protected, because as you can see, it's like already there's a piece missing there. So I was trying to keep it from moving around too much. I don't want to like move the paper and bend it and stuff like that, because then they might fall off. Yeah, so I mentioned before, I think while we were walking, that TNA wants to create an online, like, or an herbarium, I guess, for as a resource to use for reclamation efforts and like advocacy efforts. So this is
especially after you explain reseeding.
It's like, well, we don't want that plant in there. Why didn't you plant something like this? Like, this is native. This is
What program would you use then to recreate all that?
Huh?
Would you use a program to recreate that? So, for instance, I'm just thinking of like someone who's building with. I used to do animation, so we used to do modeling, and world building.
Oh, okay.
Then you can also do that with like video gaming, which is kind of basis of what we did too.
Somebody
But
funding.
now you just can take a picture of the area, and then you can recreate that using your samples and maybe scanning or photos and say.
Oh, I see.
So like, if another reclaiming group came in and say, well, we can do all this. Say, well, according to our model that we built based off the local data, this is how it will look. What you guys are doing wrong. This is what you guys are doing now is wrong.
I've never, I don't think I've thought of that as a way to do it. I think we were just thinking of as a way to educate and say these are what should be there.
Mm-hmm.
These are native, or we've also picked invasive species or non-native species as well on Black Mesa. So just knowing which is native, which is not native, which one is weed, which one is good for animals, which one are herbs and stuff like that. Everything, we want it to create a resource like that so we can use it to say, no, that's not the right, that's not, that you shouldn't be planting that or something, or, you should plant more of this kind of thing. And really, I guess, question and
to stop someone from trying to plant redwood in Tucson.
yes.
Or in this case, stop Peabody from planting so much of the Indiana buckwheat on Black Mesa.
Dine and Navajos, we still practice, we still utilize a lot of plants in our ceremonies, in our food, in our medicines, and we still have a lot of knowledge tied to these plants that I've heard a lot of other tribes are losing. I've heard that they're losing the names to these plants, the purposes to these plants. I've heard things like that, and I think I'm just very and that's also happening to Navajo plants or the plants here on Navajo. We're losing medicine men. We're losing people who have the knowledge of these plants and stuff, and we're losing that kind of information. But there's also still a lot that's left, and I think that's one of my interests is to try to get to those I guess, I don't know what you would call it, those people, that information, and create a resource for others to learn from. And Arnold Clifford is he was a really great resource. He just had so much to tell and so much, he knew so much. So it was hard keeping up with him, trying to write down every single thing he was saying, and he was just really fast. It just came to him, he's like, oh, that's this, and that's used for this, and it was just constant. So it was really cool to work with him. And then, it's a work that I don't know everything, but it's really fun to dive into the plants, and because there's actually a connection that our people have with plants. There's protocols that you do when you don't just go out and start pulling stuff and putting them on paper and everything. There's a real, I don't know how to say it. There's something happening when you come upon a plant, and you want to, you have to kind of tell it, I'm going to take this part of you, or I'm going to do this, and I'm going to use you for this, and you talk to it in that way as you're doing it. So we still have those kinds of teachings here. And we get I know one of my grandmas, she told me, like, before you pick it, you're supposed to offer it. You're supposed to offer.
Entering the area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you give an offering to a plant that you're gonna the type of plant that you're gonna pick, but you don't pick that one. You go to a different one, and you pick that one instead. So I've learned that from one of my grandmas too. So stuff like that, that's very important and very it has that I find meaningful to me in the work that I'm doing. Yeah. So it's that kind of stuff that I want to uphold, and I want to keep, and I want to share it with people and have a resource of some sort that has all of that. So that's my connection to this work, and then of course the connection for also to TNA's goals as well for reclamation efforts. So that's my own personal goal, and then of course TNA's goal too.
So we're coming to the close of your episode. Do you have any advice for younger Rihanna watching this video, who's maybe 10 years old, 13 years old, or someone barely got into college and still trying to figure out what they want to do?
I think get out and touch dirt, touch grass. I mean, I was already kind of doing that, but I think to really, I think my upbringing was very much around outside and being with the land and being with the plants and the rocks and everything. I grew up very kind of just a part of all of that. But I think I would say to her, don't take it for. I guess the way to say is don't take it for granted. Like, just be. It's kind of, I've noticed this when I've talked to other people. It's like, why do you do this? Or why is it this like that? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, actually. I've just lived like that. And I've never been able to tell people why we've done it this way, or, the story behind certain things. I've just known we do that. And I think my message to myself in the past is to learn why we do those things and why. Because it's kind of like this, it's humbled me in that way, where it's like, I actually don't know a lot about my culture, and even though I grew up this way, it's like there's so many things that I just don't know. So I guess just to tell myself to learn those things, or to pay more attention, I guess, and not just like, oh yeah, I've seen that plant. Like, I know this plant, but do I actually really know it? I don't know the name for it. I've just seen it there, and I've seen it, in these other places, and I don't know what it might have been used for 100 years ago. I've just seen it, and I when I see that plant, if I see that plant somewhere else, I'm like, oh, we have that at home. Oh, that reminds me of home. But that's probably the extent of it. So I think just to I guess learn those things, I would have told myself to take it in that way.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
This is a really good interview.
Yeah. Some plants are, there's a lot of, I guess you call it invasive species or plants.
Olive.
Yeah, there's a lot of them moving in to the Navajo land. And then plus there's, I know a certain spot up here, up on top of the mountain, used to be a different kind of Navajo tea, and I don't see that anymore. So I was talking to someone, and they said maybe they move away to another spot.
Yeah, just kind of found their time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing too, is that be mindful of the way plants move, and they have it's almost like they have. I mean, they do. I do think that they have their own, like consciousness. Like they migrate,
Yeah.
which is really cool. Is that some plants you'll find them in a certain place, only like 1 year, and then they're somewhere else a different year, or else they they move, and they move depending on like environmental impacts as well. Like maybe like the coal mining, there might be plants that were there before mining, and they probably are never going to be there again. They probably moved, or they're probably gone.
They're gone forever too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that where it's really important to like just be conscious of the plants and like how they, what you're doing impacts them as well. And I know for the trail building that they do up there, they talk about how they're mindful of where they put their trails and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's another cool thing too.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I'll be back. I'll definitely try to be back. You said August.
Yeah, it's sometime in August. I could get you a date when they.
Text me a date or a flyer.
Yeah.
You could share.
Yes.
Make it huge.
Oh no.
It's all her fault. Not good. All right. Well, yeah. Again, appreciate it. Oh.
And don't forget me.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for watching Rihanna's episode, and support the cause for TNA. And I don't know what else to say. Really fun experience, and really enjoyed the family. Yeah. See ya.